Good morning, dancers. Today, I want to talk to you about a potentially unpopular thought, but I want you to kind of ponder it and see where you stand on it. And the thought is this: before you can ever be really good at something, you have to first embrace a willingness to be really bad at it. So, what does that mean? It means that everybody starts at zero, right? Everybody starts somewhere and you don't know what you don't know. You can't possibly be good at the thing until you start learning it. And so when we first start dance class or anything, I think maybe watching television or social media or seeing that thing that first interests you. Maybe you went to a show and you saw the people on stage and you're like, I want to do that. Or you're watching a TikTok video and people are making it look easy and you're like, I want to do that. So we decide we want to do something and we sign up to take the class. And when you take that first class, you maybe realize that it's very hard. It wasn't as easy as it looked, or like maybe you felt silly or stupid at some point. And the thing is this: first of all, you're not silly and you're not stupid. You're just starting. That's how it is for everybody. But secondly, I think you have to remember nobody else is paying attention to that either because they're also worried about themselves. But third, and this is the part that we maybe don't get to, is you have to embrace and learn to love that feeling of not being good at something. Because if you can sit with that and you can be okay with the fact that you're not good yet, then you will be willing to put in the time it takes to get good at it. So there was a book that came out in the earlier 2000s, and it's called Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell. Malcolm Gladwell writes all kinds of cool books. And this book was sort of like a study in the science behind success. And part of his book, this wasn't his original idea, I don't think, but it was in the book, talks about the 10,000 hour rule. The 10,000 hour rule says that it really takes about 10,000 hours of deep, focused practice to become expert at something. So we're talking like black belt in jujitsu. We're talking like, um, you know, owning the dance studio and being the person that could say, I know enough about this, right? We're talking about, I don't know, medical school, becoming a doctor. Like when you really add up the time that people have spent perfecting their crafts to be considered an expert, it's at least about 10,000 hours. Now, if you do the math on that, 10,000 hours at about 4 to 5 hours a day is 10 years of studying something. So as you can imagine, most people do not become experts at most things. Those of you who are 9 years old out there are like, Miss Dina, I haven't even been alive 10 years, right? But what's interesting about the 10,000 hour rule is there's also another one beneath that, and it's called the 100-hour rule. And that rule says that to be in the top 95%, to beat out 95%, to be in the top 5%. So 10,000 hours to become an expert, 1%er, to be better than 99% of humanity, right? But to be better than 95%, to be in the top 5%, to be really, really great, proficient, competent at something, it's only about 100 hours. And 100 hours of deep focus practice can come in as little as 18 minutes a day. So what's fascinating about that is you could practice something for 18 minutes a day, deep focus study, and in a year, you would be better than 95% of the other people who are also practicing that same thing. So what I think is really empowering about that is don't compare your journey to someone else's, right? If you take one dance class and you stay with it all year long, right? So that's fall session, spring session, summer session too. If you take one dance class and you stay with it all year long, then you have had about 30 hours of focused practice. So you're about a third of the way to that proficient, really competent, feeling really fantastic about something. And guys, it's not just signing up for the class, it's classes attended, not missed, not time spent in the bathroom, not when you're like not feeling your best and trying your hardest. It's time really spent in deep focused practice. So I want that, like, don't miss my point here. I'm not saying go take more classes so you can be better faster. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is when you are tempted to look to your right or look to your left and decide and compare and go, oh, she's so much better at this than me, or whatever it is that goes through our crazy little monkey heads. When you're tempted to do that, I want you to stop and think, hey, listen, we all have 100 hours. 100 hours might take her 1 year because she takes 4 classes and she never misses. And it's okay if it takes me longer to get to my 100 hours. Everybody can achieve it. You have to be good and okay and happy with your process and your progress. And just know that it doesn't happen overnight. You got to put in your time. So whether it's 18 minutes a day for 365 days straight, or it's 1 class a week over time, everyone is capable. You all can get there. So just put your own blinders on, focus on your personal journey and how you want to put in that time. And I promise you, if you can just embrace the fact that we all start at zero and that you got to start bad before you can get good, then anybody can dance. I promise. I promise.